Welcome, all toy collecting, movie loving nerds. We are here tonight to rank the top 10 picks that we each brought to the table for Christmas movies. Before we get started, we're going to go down the line and have everyone introduce themselves. I am the Prophet Director. You can find my channel. It's just called The Prophet Director. Go check me out. I do stop motion animated action figure reviews and other funny stuff. Curtis?
Yeah, I go under Sergeant Curtis Schultz, Star Wars Squawk Box, and I think that's it, right? Maybe just Curtis Schultz too. Anywhere on Instagram or any of the YouTube or anything like that, so you can find me on there.
M3.
I am Marcos from M3 Reviews, and I'm always just checking it out again. Welcome, and thank you for everybody for being here. And Prophet and Curtis, thank you for allowing this to take place. Love it. Love the movies.
Ed? You're muted.
Let's try that again. Hi, everybody. I'm Ed from Geek Home World, and we talk film, TV, and tech. And we're at youtube.com/@geekhomeworld4248. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Casual
toy collector, host of Rowdy Show with my homeboy Bruce. We talk about toys and everything under the sun. Comes on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday.
Moto Viper.
Hello, y'all. Merry Christmas to everyone. My name is, I go by Moto Viper. You could find me hanging out with all these gentlemen, usually laughing and cutting it up.
Bullwinkle.
Bull 80. AKA Bullwinkle 80, AKA Merman. I go by all those. You can find me just on Instagram on Bullwinkle_80. And I just like to hang out with these dudes and chill. So can't wait to get the party started. Let's talk about Christmas.
Digital.
I am the Digital Caveman. And you can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, all that. I'm Digital Caveman everywhere that I am. No other aliases.
Fantastic. Great reviews Digital does. Please check them out, especially if you're a toy nerd like the rest of us. All right, so we're missing one. Hopefully he shows up a little later. We're waiting on Raw Talk, the real deal. We have his list. Whether he shows up or not, it will be accounted for. Before we get started, I want to let everybody have a little chance to talk about movies they didn't pick, movies they might have picked had there been more room. I'm going to go ahead and just start at the bottom this time with Digital Caveman. And because tonight we're only going to be, when we're going through the list, we're only going to be talking about the movies that we picked. So it won't be everybody assessing every movie. Otherwise, we'll be here until next year. Literally. So Digital, why don't you go ahead and say a few words about maybe a couple of movies that you would have picked had you had more room.
I can't really talk about that because it was tough for me just to pick 10. I found out doing this list that apparently I just don't like traditional Christmas movies. Now, if TV specials and stuff like that were included in this, I'd have had no problem. But just for movies, I'm just not that big on Christmas movies, I guess.
All right. What TV specials? Are we talking like Rankin Bass?
Yeah, like Grinch Stole Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, Santa Claus, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all those, ancient by today's standards. Rankin Bass and Lord.
Yeah, who doesn't love claymation?
Exactly.
Well, all right. Bullwinkle, how about you?
When I was making my list, it was actually a pretty easy list to make. I love Christmas movies. We're always watching them here at the house. There was two big movies that I did not put on my list, and I love these two movies, and that would be Die Hard and Gremlins. And I decided not to choose those, even though they are quote-unquote Christmas movies. I wanted to go more traditional Christmas. And let's be honest, those two movies, Die Hard or Gremlins, they could have been on my top 20 of all-time movies. So I wanted to make more room for more traditional movies, but I did want to give those two shout-outs to those two movies.
I agree. I tried to do the same, similar with my list. Keep it more movies that were about Christmas than movies that just took place during Christmas. Although one of the two you mentioned did wind up on my list, anyways.
Yeah.
Moto, how about you?
Oh, but I did want to try and get one in after I just saw it recently, and that was Red One. I really enjoyed that. Family really enjoyed that movie. That would have been number 10 on the list. But it was too late for submittal. But other than that, I'm pretty solid with the 10 that I picked still to this day.
I agree with the Red One. I feel like we ought to give Red One an honorary A rank just because, it didn't get in time for us to really acknowledge it. But it is a great movie, especially Krampus. Casual, how about you?
Man, it's hard to narrow down 10 Christmas movies. There's so many good Christmas movies. Typically humor is the type of stuff I lean to, so that's what you're gonna see on my list. Only one that didn't make the list was kind of error on my failed to realize something. I would have wanted Jingle All the Way to make the list, but I kind of messed up on something initially. But that's the only thing. There's a lot of good Christmas movies, but I'm confident with my list.
Nice. Ed?
Gotta show off my shirt. So this one should have made the list, but it's technically not a movie. Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, one of the best Christmas adaptations of anything. But like Caveman, a lot of my TV shows I realized are my favorite Christmas movies that are not movies. The TV shows like Frosty, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, all those traditional ones. My list overall is more traditional. There's a few modern ones thrown in there. And there's even variations of some of the modern ones that didn't make it. So there's a lot that didn't make it, but try to keep it as simple as I could. So that's that. We're going to have fun.
Nice. M3.
Thanks. I went with the same thing with a lot of you guys with keeping my movies all about Christmas, like kind of like the Hallmark method, right? And I didn't get to put on Polar Express the night before. And I did have to use Office Christmas Party as one of my honorable, I had to take out the claymation version of Santa Comes to Town. I love the claymation shits, but yeah, those are the ones.
You actually have Polar Express on your list.
I do. Oh, great. That's perfect. I'm done.
All right, Curtis.
Yeah. Like Polar Express is one of the ones I wanted to put on. I didn't put that on. There's so many of them, and I like all the old TV specials of Christmas. I like all those. I wish we could have put those on there, but that could be a different show for a different time.
Maybe next Christmas we'll do the TV specials.
Right. But like even the classic stuff, man, the black and white stuff, like I'm Dreaming of White Christmas and all that stuff. Oh my God, so good. I love just about all the Christmas movies, I think. So, and you guys mentioned a lot of the good stuff anyway, so I'm good. Here you go.
Nice. I have to say myself that the Rankin Bass stuff, were I able to put that stuff, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, like those, what was it? The elf that was a dentist or wanted to be a dentist or whatever.
Yes.
Like all of those were a staple of my childhood, and they probably definitely would have made it into my list had I had had they been theatrical releases. However, they weren't, so they didn't make it. But we'll take a closer look at the thumbnail here. Some pretty good movies on the thumbnail. I always like to, make sure everything on the marquee is on the list. There's Kevin from Home Alone poster, Grinch poster. You can see it's all decked out for Christmas. And there we've got A Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation as posters. And here you'll see Curtis doesn't want to share his gingerbread man. M3 was hiding in Santa's sack while holding a candy cane. So you can do with that what you will. And apparently I was not good because all I got was a lump of coal. Sadness. But before we get into the movies, I have a small treat for everybody who's in the chat there, and we'll have M3 address the chat after Cold Slither's new music video.
Okay,
Cold Slither is doing a music video. They did an original Christmas song, and we have it here for you now. Enjoy.
Coming to town tonight with guitar plays red and gold. Santa's got nothing on our sleigh. The halls of rock and roll. Reindeer stretching through the snow. Electric lights that steal the show. Sing along with us so loud. Cold Slither's here to rock the crowd.
Hold on, can you guys not hear it?
Right,
It's
volume
re-
up, please.
It's really low.
It's really low. Yeah.
Yeah, real low.
All right, then I'm going to share it a different way.
Okay. I was gonna say something, but I didn't want to fucking hear.
No, say something. We want people to be able to enjoy it.
I put it in the private chat.
Look at Bull Ankle. Little private chat area.
All right, there you go, Curtis. Share the music video, and then we'll get back into the slideshow.
Cold Slither's coming to town tonight with guitars blazing red and gold. Santa's got nothing on our sleigh. The halls of rock and roll. Reindeer stretching through the snow. Electric lights that steal the show. Sing along with us so loud. Cold Slither's here to rock the crowd. On a roaring sleigh ride. Feel the thunder by your side. It's a cold Christmas night with Cold Slither's here to rock the crowd. On a roaring sleigh ride. Feel the thunder by your side. It's a cold Christmas night with Cold Slither taking flight. Frosty nights and fiery wrists underneath the mistletoe. Join the bands while Christmas shifts the loudest way to say ho ho. We will be silent night this year. Naughty gifts for all to hear. Scream your wishes loud and clear. Cold Slither spreading festive cheer. On a roaring sleigh ride. Feel the thunder by your side. It's a cold Christmas night with Cold Slither taking flight. On a roaring sleigh ride. Feel the thunder by your side. It's a cold Christmas night with Cold Slither taking flight.
And that is the new Cold Slither music video. You can find that on the Prophet Director on YouTube anytime you want to watch it. I think it's a fucking banger.
Yeah,
Me too.
for some reason, I feel the urge to go join Cobra now.
Yeah, that's the goal.
They have
Anyways, Curtis, I've reshared the slideshow, if you will.
Rock on, man.
All right, so moving on, we're going to the first movie now. We'll have to skip past that video, and we've got a Christmas Carol, the 1984 edition, and this is all you, Ed. So go ahead and tell us about it.
Oh man, quintessential Christmas movie. It has everything. I'm a sucker for Charles Dickens, and this tale has been told so many great times. There are other versions of this, but this for me was the quintessential version. George C. Scott, awesome as Scrooge. everything about this spells Christmas, and it's not Christmas until I watch a Christmas Carol, and so it's that great of a movie. And what else can you say about it? It's a total classic. Oh, I need to keep going. Okay, more. Let's see. So it's you had earlier versions that were in black and white. This one we can't show it in color, but it was actually in color. And it's just such a great story of redemption, a story that always needs to be told any time of the year. This film would work in any situation. It's been adapted beyond Christmas films, and A Christmas Carol is just it's very spiritual on a lot of levels, I think, because it really shows that even the person that's the most gone can always be redeemed. They just have to have Christmas in their heart, and they have to have it every day. And it's, Christmas isn't just one day of the year. It's when you celebrate the birth of Christ, and you celebrate it every day in your heart. And that's kind of how it ought to be. This film, it just does, it's a wonderful portrayal. It's great acting. I forget the actors now that I was on the spot here in there, but obviously George C. Scott. It's a quintessential film. I'm running out of things to say, because how can you say something is great and just great and wonderful? How many times can you say that? It's an awesome film, A Christmas Carol. Everybody should see it. Thank you.
It's a decent rendition for sure, but Ed is the only one that picked it. But that's to say that it's a bad film. That's just to say there's a lot of good Christmas movies. And so it gets a rank of E. Now, the way the rankings are working today, if only one person picks it, it gets an E. If two pick it, it's a D. If three pick it, it's a C. 4 is a B, 5 is an A, and 6 through 9 is an S. We're being generous for Christmas time. Moving on to another version of A Christmas Carol. This one picked only by M3. M3, why don't you tell us a little bit about the digitally animated Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey?
Thanks. I watched all the Disney, all the Christmas Carols renditions. I want to say that I have, but this one right here, we have a 3D TV that I bought back in 2008 or 9, and this one right here does a really good. When you put the glasses on, I mean, all the stuff is really 3D. It's in your room, and with Jim Carrey alone. And the 3D aspect really made me really adore this movie. I think it's great. The caricature of Jim Carrey, it looks like him, but it's not. It's Scrooge, right? And then the whole way that they go through the typical classic scenario of these films is great. This is one of the movies that I like Ed. I need to watch every single year since it came out, and I recently got rid of my Blu-ray player, so I don't watch it in 3D anymore. I haven't for the last 3 years. I just watch it on fucking Amazon Prime and shit. But it's a really good movie. It's the same. They didn't change anything. They didn't make anything weird. They didn't Disney us. They kept it exactly like the way it's supposed to. And it's a cool movie. Just watching these little excerpts here is perfect. And then to have a Christmas Carol in the way that I like it is just the story itself of a guy that, like Ed was saying, is so far gone and just wanted money. Shut out Scrooge McDuck, but wanted so much money, and then he just lost concept of being a kind individual, and sometimes you really need to step back and look and be like, okay, what am I doing in my life that kind of, is not being a Scrooge about everything, So I enjoy this movie. Really good movie. Yeah, thanks, Prophet. That's and the scenes are great too. Even if it's not 3D, I love the computer generation for this movie. I think it did a little bit better than Polar Express. Probably 2 times better in the animation than Polar Express. But yeah, I love this film. Great. And Jacob Marley's fucking awesome when he comes in and talks to Scrooge. It's great. Thanks, Prophet.
Yeah, and I do believe that Scrooge was motion captured from Jim Carrey's actual performance. So
wow,
that already takes it somewhere that other digital movies don't usually go. But yeah, because only N3 picked it, it gets a rank of E. Moving on, the next movie, this was picked by quite a few people. Bull, DC, Casual, M3, myself, and Curtis all picked A Christmas Story. And it's good that we're not talking about Christmas Story. It's good that we're only talking about movies we picked, because I know there's a couple of people who would probably have some pretty negative stuff to say. However, for me, A Christmas Story is kind of a film that it reminds me in the feel and the cinematography and everything of The Sandlot. So for me, The Sandlot being one of my favorite movies of all time, this is like The Sandlot at Christmas. Absolutely love this film. I watch it every year. And I don't let a lot of people like say it gets played out because it's on one channel all day, the entire day for Christmas, or whatever. But it's like, there's like 500 other channels. You don't have to leave the channel on just this all day. But yeah, the Bumpus Hounds destroying dinner, like hilarious. Although I have to say, if this was me and those dogs ran into my house, either the dogs or Mr. Bumpus would be getting an ass whooping. Anyways, this movie was also picked by a bunch of other people. So, Bullwinkle, why don't you tell us what your thoughts on A Christmas Story?
Just a little bit of information about The Christmas Story. That channel you were talking about, Prophet, that's TNT. And believe it or not, they have been showing it a 24-hour marathon, 12 consecutive airings of it since 1997, which is pretty cool. The movie itself also takes place in 1939. And as we all know, it's about a Red Ryder BB gun, and he'll shoot his eye out. And it's all about Christmas, man. It's all about the magic of being a kid and wanting that certain Christmas gift, and you actually get it, right? And you get to play with it. But in his case, he shoots his eye out almost. Some of the funny parts in the movie, when he beats up the bully, when the Santa kicks him in the face down the slide and says, "You'll shoot your eye out." The leg lamp, and the dad's like, "Oh, look, fragile." It's just classic stuff, man. I'm sure you'll hear that from all the other people that picked it. And that's about all, man. I'll let someone else take over.
Nice. Digital, how about you? What did you think?
Who doesn't want that lamp? Besides Ed. Ed doesn't count.
Well, I had that lamp.
So, it's a great growing up at Christmas time movie. Who, besides Ed, who didn't have a BB gun? They were growing up. And, just like Bull was talking about the Santa Claus on the slide, ho, ho, ho. And there's so many just fantastic parts of this movie. Like at the end where they go to the Chinese place and he's complaining about the duck, and they're trying to sing, Christmas songs and
rah, 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 rah.
Yeah, I can't quite pronounce it right.
Yeah, that's funny.
And like you said, Prophet, the dogs, yeah. But
nice.
it's a great feel good Christmas movie.
It really is. And about the leg lamp, I actually have a leg lamp, but it's Harley Quinn's leg instead of the fishnets.
Close enough.
Even better.
Casual. How about you, my friend? What did you have to say about A Christmas Story?
Man, it's simply the best. It's simply the best. It's the greatest. To me, it's the greatest movie. I can relate to wanting the BB gun because I wanted a BB gun when I was a kid, and it's just hilarious. Like everybody else has been pointing out, it's just the struggle of him trying to get this BB gun, and he fights the bully, and it's just the best. It's like the best Christmas story. I watch it every year. And hell, wouldn't mind watching it here and there throughout the year. It's just great. It's a good movie.
Nice. Curtis, how about you? You're muted.
Sorry. Great movie. I watch it every year with my mom. It's like a tradition with me and my mother right now. So yeah, who I was looking actually at getting the leg lamp today. I'll have it by next year, but anyways, yeah, it was great. Don't forget to drink your Ovaltine and don't lose your ring and listen to the radio. And I triple dipple dog dare Ed to put his tongue on the flagpole. That's all I got to say about that.
My flagpole.
All right, yeah, M3. Before Christy accidentally breaks your leg lamp, why don't you tell us what you thought about it and then address the chat for us?
Okay. The movie was great, fucking awesome. We watch it. I watch it every year, and this is the only movie that I put on Christmas morning after we're all done and I'm cooking turkey and shit. That it cycles over and over and over all the way till midnight. No lie. One of my favorite parts is when the bullies come in effect and Ralphie really just lets him fucking have it, right, and just annihilates this kid. That is one of my favorite parts, man. And this movie is just iconic to me, and I've been watching it every Christmas since I believe I know that it came out when I was like, I think 13, 14, something like that. We were watching it, and my sisters love it. My mom, dad, they loved it, and we enjoyed this movie. It's great. But going to chat, Geek Homeworld is here. Mark Cosplay is here. Look at Mark Cosplay. What's up, Mark? Don't be doing gay gestures, Mark. Digital Caveman. Going up to some people that aren't on the panel. William is here. William, man, we're commenting more than. Oh, what's up, Robert?
That's me. I'm William. William B.
Yeah, Robert Francois, Johnny Ohm. Good to see you guys. Roughshod Stocks. Thanks for being here, man. Awesome. And coming up, I know there's some other people here too. Old School, Seth Bick. What's up, Seth? And coming up, all the way to the top. Did I miss anybody? I don't know if I missed anybody, but thanks for being here. And Citizen Germ, thanks for being here, you guys. Awesome.
Belucius just arrived. He says, I'm having a Muppets.
Belucius, what's up? Oh, and Daniel Barry showed up. What's up, Daniel Barry? Sorry, that's it.
But yeah, because this movie got picked by 6 people, it gets a rank of S. First S rank movie of the Christmas season, A Christmas Story. Very fitting. Next on the list, we've got a great movie that I didn't have room for, but Kaz did. So Casual. Why don't you tell us about Bad Santa?
Oh, hey, this is another one. This is another one. Anytime the good guy is kind of portrayed as, Santa being portrayed as an asshole. I mean, just what I mean. This is another great one. I love all the different. I just love the humor in these movies, like the funny Christmas movies, and this is one of them, man.
Nice. Yeah, you gotta love a Santa Claus with the personality of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, just
great flick. None of the rest of us had room on our list for it, so sadly, Bad Santa gets a rank of E. Moving on, the next movie on the list was picked by 2 people, and one of them isn't here yet. So, Ed, I know this is like a really hard call, but you're going to have to carry this one on your own, man.
Funny thing is that I didn't pick that film.
Yeah, that was me, Prophet.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Digital. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really ever think about this one as a Christmas movie, even though it happens at Christmas time. But again, I was having problems picking 10 movies, and I asked Prophet, does this one count as a Christmas movie? He said, yeah, sure. So this is an example of what happens when a director has a successful film with a lot of control by the studio, and then makes a sequel and the studio just kind of turns him loose. Because that's what happened. The studio was really watching Tim Burton when he was directing the 89 Batman, and it was so successful they just said, hey, just pretty much do what you want to do. And he really didn't make the movie they wanted him to make, because they were looking for a lot of toy tie-ins and McDonald's tie-ins and stuff like that, and they got all that stuff, but it's some parents, or a lot of parents, just didn't like the movie for their kids, because it was a little kind of out there for them, and I'm not going to say this version of the Penguin is my favorite version, although I think Danny DeVito did a good job. And Catwoman, I mean, what can you say there? But overall it was a good movie. It's definitely better than the next two entries in this series.
Well, that was Joel Schumacher just trying to sell toys.
Yeah, so, but overall it's a good movie. And again, like I said, I don't normally think of this one as a Christmas movie, but it's at Christmas time, so I guess it counts.
Well, I full-blown give you Christmas movie on this for two reasons. One, the one girl that gets murdered gets dropped into a Christmas tree off a rooftop, and Batman and Catwoman have a kiss under the mistletoe, and then a fight. But Raw's not here to talk about it, so it's just Ed. I'm sorry. I don't know why I've got Ed's name up there if it was DC that picked it.
Hey, Raw's in chat. Raw's in chat.
Let's let Raw in so he can talk about his movie.
If he's backstage, I don't know. Or he could.
Raw backstage. Raw. The link, I gave it to you on Instagram. It's not a free-for-all show, so we don't put the link in the chat here. But I gave it to you on Instagram.
Hey, what up, Raw? What up, scrambling and scrapping with Daddy Banner?
That's Bruce.
I know. Is it scrambling and scraping?
Scrambling and scraping. He's doing that Diddy. He's doing that Diddy thing.
Shout out Raw Talk. What up, Raw?
I wouldn't be bragging about that.
No Diddy during Christmas there, guys. No Diddy during Christmas.
Merry Diddy.
I think it's kind of funny that Mark Cosplay is shouting that he has nothing to say about Batman Returns. He says, "Oh man, I have no much to say about Batman Returns."
No much.
Confusing. No much.
Shout out Johnny Ohm likes Batman Returns. It is a great movie, but one of the reasons why I didn't pick it was because it wasn't like a Hallmark Christmas movie. I wanted to keep it Christmassy.
Right. This might make a different list, but it won't make. It wouldn't make my Christmas list. But it is a great movie, and it is Christmas adjacent. So
yeah,
is Raw in yet?
Johnny Ohm hates.
I think Kurt's still trying to get him linked up.
Johnny.
Shoot, you only hate it because it was your ex that made you fucking watch it, bro.
Take her out of the equation, Johnny. Would you like it then?
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want a bell for Christmas?
From Santa.
I really don't want a bell.
I guess we know who picked that one.
Raw Talk might be late.
All right, well, we're gonna move on. If Raw gets in, we'll let him say a few words about Batman Returns before we move on. But the next movie on the list, the pick by two, so it gets a regular D. Next on the list, we've got Christmas with the Cranks, picked by Bull, M3, and Curtis. So we're gonna go in the other direction this time. We're gonna let Curtis start. Tell us a little bit about Christmas with the Cranks. You're muted, sir. You're still muted.
I can start.
Go ahead, Bull. Start while Curtis figures out his microphone.
All right. First of all, go ahead, Kurt.
I was just trying to send Raw Talk the thing.
Oh, yeah, he was. Okay.
Sorry.
Did you get it sent?
No, he wants it sent to an email, and I'm having trouble sending it to that email. Keep saying it doesn't go through.
All right, you continue to talk to him, and I can go, Prophet. All right,
ahead.
let's talk about the Christmas with the Cranks. For those that don't know, that's Tim Allen, and that movie is from 2004. And not only does it have Tim Allen, but it also has Dan Aykroyd, and it also has Jamie Lee Curtis, which is really cool. Even though I'm not digging her hair in the movie, I love the movie. The movie's about them skipping Christmas, which is, I don't know if sometimes people want to skip Christmas, don't want to deal with it. And they wanted to go to the Caribbean, and it's because their daughter wasn't going to be there. And Tim Allen decided, hey, let's not do this. And the whole neighborhood, the whole like little community was all against them because everybody loves Christmas. Everywhere they turned, people were like talking about him. She can't handle it. He's like, I don't care. They get spray tans. Tim Allen gets Botox, but the twist at the end is Blair's coming home for Christmas, and everything changes. They have to do a 180, and they don't have anything. They don't have a Christmas tree. They don't have any lights up. They don't have any food, and it's just a big scramble. And the community comes together, and it all works out. And it's a really cool, funny Christmas movie, and we watch it here at the Bullwinkle House every year.
Nice. Curtis, are you ready? You got it all sorted out with Raw, or should we go to M3?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I really like Christmas with the Cranks. I watch it a few times a year, actually. I'm a big Tim Allen fan, is one of the reasons why. It's got Dan Aykroyd in it. It's got a great cast, and it's a comedy. It's just a great movie. I suggest people watch it if they haven't. Jamie Lee Curtis, and so on. So it's a good movie. That's all I got.
M3, how about you?
Hey, I watch this movie every year. It's a great movie. It's just another classic, right? And I've got a list of the classics. This hits my classic. It's great. Tim Allen, Dan Aykroyd, the kid from Malcolm in the Middle. Everybody does a little change of heart and stuff like that. It's a good movie, well worth the watch. Seth Bick has not seen it. Seth, if you're bored one day and you're like, another Christmas movie, go ahead and watch this one. It will put one under where you like it, or you either love it or you hate it. I guess it's like an okay movie, but I really, really like this movie. And Jamie Lee Curtis, she's great. It's great. Good movie. That's all I gotta say. Thanks.
Nice. I can relate to not wanting to see the family for Christmas. My aunt and my mother used to get in a fist fight every year. But 3 people picked it, so it gets a rank of C. But before we move on, Raw Talk, why don't you tell us a little bit about Batman?
Great movie, Christmas movie, dynamic movie, the best out of the 2. I mean, the first one is great, but just this one is the best because you have the 2 villains. More, it just speaks to a Cobblepot, the inner workings of the Penguin and how he, Danny DeVito did a stellar job on that, and that was the standout. And also Christopher Walken, he was himself. I believe every time he plays a character, he's himself. So, but yeah, man, great movie.
Nice. I like how the actor playing his son was doing a good impression of Christopher Walken for the whole film.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, the next film on the list. This was picked by 4 people, I believe.
Yes.
Digital Caveman, Ed, Casual, and Raw.
Yes.
Raw, since you're fresh, why don't you start us off on Die Hard?
Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas movie besides Gremlins. I mean, everything. You get the action, you get the Christmas party, you get everything in it. I mean, you got a couple who, seemingly going through something, and the husband, he's there. He's like, what the hell is going on here? He's figuring like something's fishy about these characters that's in here. You know what I mean? It's just like you get your top villain, then you get the co-villains he picks off one by one. Great cast. I mean, you got I forget the Asian guy's name in there. He's every time you see him in a movie, shit hits the fan automatically. shit's getting real, you know. So I watch it every year. It's the go-to movie. If you don't watch this every year for Christmas, something's wrong with you. I believe personally, you know.
Nice. Ed, why don't you give us your 2 cents?
Alrighty, 2 cents. It's a great movie. Yeah, I could watch it any time of the year. The fact that it wasn't always considered a Christmas movie, and there was this big dilemma: is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? And then, of course, they went with saying it was, and it is. It's just a great fun movie. This is back when blockbusters were fun. There were no messages. It was just a great fun popcorn movie, and you can watch it any time of the year, especially at Christmas. And it's just really good, and everybody should watch it. If you don't know Die Hard, you need to watch all of them. There's a few duds in there, but I like all of the Die Hards and all that. So, great movie. Check it out. That's all I got to say.
Nice. Digital, how about you?
Just like the meme says, my Christmas is not complete until I see Hans Gruber fall from the top of Nakatomi Plaza. And I didn't realize this till I was looking at stuff the other day. This was Alan Rickman's first film. So, you know, just a great beginning to his career.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't always consider this a Christmas movie. I do try to watch it every December, though. So, and to me, this is Bruce Willis at his best. You know, he's taken a lot of crap jobs over the years, and I really think that this one is one of his best, if not the best.
Yeah.
And you know, the sequels, some of the sequels were really good, and some of the sequels not so much. But
it's
I love
definitely
this.
better
You
than
know,
Hudson
you get off the airplane, you go to the hotel, take your shoes off, rub your feet in the carpet, and watch Die Hard, I guess.
Nice. Casual, how about you?
Hey, great movie. Tons of action. Man versus army to save the world and save Christmas. The slick lines in it, like I got a machine gun, ho ho ho. Like it's got memorable lines. Just you know, the cigarette smoking badass saves the day, beats everybody, beats the baddest of the bad. It's great. It's great. Love it, man.
Nice. Yeah, and you know, it probably would have made my list, but like I said, I was trying to stick to movies about Christmas, not movies that take place on Christmas. But yeah, this is definitely a Christmas movie. There's no denying that.
This would be considered Christmas in July.
Right. So this is 4 people. So it's our first B rank movie.
Yes.
Next on the list, we've got Elf. Elf was picked by quite a few people. Bullwinkle, Ed, M3, Raw, and Curtis all picked Elf. Why don't we this time? Let's go ahead and start with M3. Tell us about Elf.
Thanks. Hey, this is the fucking funniest fucking Christmas movie I've fucking seen, dude. Will Ferrell, a lot of people don't like him, just like Adam Sandler. Doesn't matter. I love the guy. I think he's great. He's got he does this fucking kid shit so good, dude. When he's finding the bubble gum under the when he's finding the bubble gum under the fucking thing, he's eating it. He goes into the coffee place. He buys his dad fucking lingerie. I'll let you guys go on it too, but man, I love this movie. This is one that plays every single year. I've already seen it twice this year. I've had it playing while I was doing other shit, playing on the TV. He nails this Elf perfectly for what it is. I love it. It's great. Thanks.
Curtis, how about you?
Loved it. I like Will Ferrell too. A lot of people for some reason don't like him anymore. It's a great movie. Zoe Deschanel's in it, you know, and man, there's all kinds of people in this movie, and the whole thing with him and starting a fight with the mall Santa Claus was great. The gum thing was great too. That shit was funny, you know. And he found the best coffee in the world and all that. And a lot of little things that were really funny that I loved in it. So that's all I'm going to say. Let somebody else talk. Oh,
All right, Bullwinkle. All right, Ed.
Hey, yeah. What a cast: Will Ferrell, James Caan, Bob Newhart, Zoe Deschanel, Ed Asner, Mary Steenburgen, Peter Dinklage, and you could go on. This film is about being a child and seeing Christmas through a child's eye, and nobody does it better than Will Ferrell. And this film, I was not an early fan of when it first came out. I didn't like it, and I was like, because everybody liked it, and I was like, well, I don't like it because everybody likes it. A few years ago, I gave it a chance, and now it's one of my all-time. Look what I was missing. I love it. I could watch it anytime. It comes on TV, and a great film, and just hilariously funny with a lot of heart. And that's what makes a Christmas movie funny, and it's got a lot of heart. And this film has it all. That's it.
All right, Raw Talk.
Was that directed by Jon Favreau?
Yes.
Correct.
Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That dude is a mad genius. I mean, this movie was just crazy. I like when he was eating the spaghetti with the syrup and sugar and all that. I'm like, what the? And he's actually eating this shit. I'm like, what the hell? And then his father, he's like looking crazy, like, hold up. It's just madness. And Will Ferrell, he does madness good. He like total chaos. He's the master of all that to me. Like him and the brothers, him and the one with what's that little dude's name? I forget. But yeah, it's the perfect Christmas one of the perfect Christmas movies. That's why I have it on my list. And I mean, I could watch it every year. James Caan, legend, one of my favorite actors. You know, he plays the straight guy well, but he also plays the straight guy that deals with chaos and his facial expressions with Will Ferrell. I'm quite sure, and I think I seen the bloopers. They had a gas of a time on that set because all the crazy shit that was going on, man.
Yeah, I hated seeing James Caan get gunned down at that toll booth. Bullwinkle, are you there yet?
Yes, I'm here. Why did you call on me earlier? I had to step away for a second.
Yeah, I called it. Well, it's one of your picks, Elf, man.
Yes, it is. That's why I'm here. So, yeah, man, Elf, great movie from 2003. You guys named a couple of the people that's in it. You know, Jon Favreau, it's one of his movies. I don't know if you guys mentioned Amy Sedaris or not. Sedaris, she's funny. She's the secretary in the movie. And I think she's hilarious, man. Anything she does is funny. Just a great, funny movie, man. There's so many one-liners, so many, like, when he answers the phone, he's like, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? This is magic when he does that, right? And when he's like, Santa, oh my God, I know him. And he's like freaking out, like more so than any of the kids in there. He's like, Santa. Then he gets in the fight with the Santa because he's like, you're not Santa. And he's like, the guy's like, yeah, I am. He's like, prove it. He's like, what song did I sing on your birthday? The guy's like, happy birthday. He's like, wow. I was like, oh my God, this is so stupid, but it's great. I don't know, man. Anybody that's seen the movie, you know, Will Ferrell is Will Ferrell. He's funny. Either you love him or you don't. I tend to like the guy when he does his comedy. That's why it's on my list.
Nice. And incidentally, this is not the only movie where Mary Steenburgen plays his mother.
That's correct.
Kind of a travesty.
Step Brothers.
Yeah.
But yeah, this got a lot of picks, so it gets a rank of A with 5 people voting for it.
Nice.
M3, before we move on, there's a few new people in the chat. Would you like to address them?
Oh, yes. T-Fan Page is here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, T-Fan, fun fact, he actually went around doing the stuff in the city unprompted, including eating gum stuck on the, oh my God, that's terrible. Robert Francois says, isn't Will on road trip with a tranny granny? I'm not sure about that, but because you said tranny granny, I'm in. Johnny Ohm's still here. But yeah, man, good stuff. Thanks, you guys.
All right, moving on. The next film on the list. This one is all digital, all by himself. Ernest Saves Christmas. Why don't you tell us how Ernest saved Christmas, Digital?
Honestly, I don't remember. I had to pick one though. But Ernest is funny. You know what I mean, Vern? And
Yes.
he Santa Claus went to jail and he had to fill in. He was a cab driver. And see, there's Santa going to jail right there.
Oh my gosh.
So it's just crazy Ernest stuff. Jim Varney, R.I.P.
Yeah, it's not everyone who could make an entire career out of being a jackass.
Yeah.
But Jim Varney did it successfully, but not successfully enough to get more than one vote today. And so it gets a rank of E. Moving on, the next film on the list is also picked by only one person. Great movie, but only picked by one. Fat Man, starring Mel Gibson. Raw, why don't you tell us about Fat Man?
Well, this is about Santa Claus. He's disenchanted with doing his job. He's like, he gets this letter from this one kid that the one kid didn't have a good Christmas, so he sent hitmen out to kill Santa Claus. And don't know that Santa Claus is a gangster himself. He just likes to do good things, but it goes awfully wrong for the hitmen. It's crazy. It's like, I would say that other Santa Claus film that's is probably on the list. It's like that, but on some other crazy shit. Yeah, there go the lump of coal. Revenge on it. He wanted revenge. You have to watch it, man. He sends hitmen after Santa Claus, and every one of them get fucked up by Santa Claus.
Is this a comedy?
It could be. It's a whole bunch of craziness. It's funny and it's gangster. I love it.
It sounds epic.
Yeah, and you see who's in it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. You have to watch it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely on my list of movies to watch. There is another killer Santa movie on the list here later on, picked by a few of us. But this is definitely something I'm going to have to backtrack and watch because I, too, like many others, have not seen it.
Yeah.
But because I haven't seen it and many others haven't, only Raw picked it, and it gets a rank of E.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, folks, even if it's an E rank, that doesn't mean it's bad. I mean, there's thousands of Christmas movies out there, and these are just the top 10 of 9 people.
Mm-hmm.
So it being a rank of E doesn't mean it's bad. It's probably an A on everybody else's list. But anyways, moving on, the next film on the list, picked by a couple of people, Four Christmases, picked by Bull and Moto Viper, and we haven't heard from Moto in quite a while, so we're going to let Moto start this one out.
Oh, this movie's classic. I love it. I mean, I can relate to this. I know there's a lot of people that can relate to the four families, and I guess it's almost right there with the Christmas with the Cranks wanting to get away, but as luck would have it, canceled. Their flight's canceled. So they end up going to all different houses of the dad, mom, in-laws and whatnot, and the different styles in each of them. And then at the end, when you think it's almost going to be over for this couple here, it's realizing that it's that crazy whole family thing and love that's really what it's all about. And I'll move it on from there.
Bullwinkle, how about you, my friend?
Well, let me see. Excuse me. Well, this movie is from 2008, and it's got quite a few people in it. Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, Jon Favreau, Jon Voight, Robert Duvall, Tim McGraw. Like, it's got a pretty good cast in there. It's also got the same mother that's from Step Brothers and from Elf is also Reese Witherspoon's mother in this movie, which is awesome. So For you guys that don't know, Moto hit on it. This is a couple. They obviously their parents are divorced. They have to go. If you want to spend Christmas with these people, you got to go 4 different places. They try to skip Christmas and go to Fiji, but they get caught up in the airport. And it's unfortunately for them, the news people show up and they're like, "Hey, where you guys going?" And Vince Vaughn's like stuttering because he knows he's caught. They say, they have to go visit everyone. And that's when they really get to find out their family. And this part right here, when he goes and meets his brothers right there, that's my best part. That's my favorite family they meet. They do UFC fighting. It's just great, man. It's got the woman in there from Kenny Powers. That's Kenny Powers' love interest. She's married to John Favreau. It's just funny, man. There's Cootie Kate right there. That's what they call her, Cootie Kate. It's funny as shit. I don't know, man. For those that didn't watch it, you need to watch it and check it out. I could go on and on about it. I could talk about every single place they visit, but I'm not going to take up all that time. But it's really funny. I enjoy it. It's another one of those movies, man, I try to catch every year and watch every year. It's just part of what I do for Christmas. And that's why it's on my list.
Yeah, it's a great film. Just didn't have enough room on my list for it. I'm sure others feel the same. But because only 2 picked it, it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, we've got a movie picked by a lot of people. Digital, Kaz, Moto, myself, Raw, and Curtis all picked this wonderful film. We're going to go ahead and let Casual start this time. Casual, tell us about Gremlins.
Gizmo is so damn cute. He's so cute, but then it turns into he can turn into such a big problem for the whole city. And the shenanigans they go through in the theater, the old the old lady flying through the window and flying up the staircase out the window, and like they terrorized that little city, and it just a really good movie, man. Really good. I love
Digital. How about you?
I mean, there were simple rules of taking care of this thing. Don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight. This kid can't even follow that. and he's like an adult.
Got a job at
home. He can't even follow these simple rules of don't get them wet. Don't feed them after midnight. And, the Mogwai, after he gets Gizmo wet accidentally, the other Mogwai kind of trick him by, chewing the wire on his clock or whatever. But, from there, hilarity ensues. It wouldn't have been a very good movie if this wasn't a dumb kid. And, Gremlins in the microwave. And I think my favorite part of the movie is like when they short circuit the stair lift and it shoots the old lady out the window.
She definitely deserved it.
She certainly did. So great movie, and I do count this one as a Christmas movie.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Yeah, I 100% count this as a Christmas movie. Raw, why don't you go?
Yeah, man. This is the Christmas movie when you're young. You know what I mean? It has everything you need in it. My favorite parts was the one when they're at the bar and the old girl is serving them drinks. Like, this is madness. You're serving these gremlins drinks and they're going crazy. They're gambling, they're smoking, they're trying to flash her, they're sticking up the place. You got one with a ski mask. Come on, man. You gotta have this classic, man. And then they go into the movie theater and it's wild. It's a great movie, great time, great memories watching it. Hey, gotta watch that every Christmas too.
And you can't go wrong with Phoebe Cates. Phoebe Cates is the leading lady.
Yeah.
For me, this movie is just it's top notch. It's one of the best comedy monster movies ever made. It's definitely a Christmas movie. I mean, Gizmo's given to the boy as a Christmas present. But yeah, Digital's right. For an adult, he makes a lot of dumbass decisions. He gets outsmarted by a little furball that was born literally yesterday. But I think my favorite character is the old man who starts talking about, World War II and the gremlins in the planes and that sort of thing. That's something you don't get like a lot of like acknowledgement of the original mythology of a character in these movies that reinvent it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Curtis, what did you think?
Curtis, I think you're muted again.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're not talking. Mute yourself.
Remember,
I really like Gremlins. I watch it a few times a year. It's definitely a Christmas movie. When I was a kid and I was going to see it and I saw Phoebe Cates on it, first thing I thought of was Fast Times at Richmond High, but kind of disappointed in that part. But it's a classic Christmas comedy horror movie type thing, So and that's all I got to say about that. And we're just over our first hour.
Moto Viper?
Love this movie as a child. To this day, it's still in the top 10, top 20 movies easily for me. Set on the actual set of Back to the Future, the same town. But everybody else pretty much covered it. I just thought it was fun. It was fun, funny, very Christmassy. Had the whole Christmas vibe with it, and enjoyed it for what it was. It was a huge success.
Right, and anyone who says it's not a Christmas movie, remember the Gremlins strung the dog up in Christmas lights. Anyways, this was picked by 6 people, so it gets a nice rank of S. It's our second S rank of the night. More to come on S ranks, guys. There's a lot of movies that were picked by a lot of people.
yeah, man.
Next on the list, another S rank, Home Alone, picked by almost everybody. Yeah, this we're gonna go ahead and let Bull get it all off his chest first here.
So, Home Alone, which one is this? 1 or 2? I had to step away.
It's one. It's one.
All right. Well, let's talk about Home Alone 1. So this movie's from 1990. And in my opinion, the 3 main characters are Marv, Harry, and Kevin. And Harry's played by Joe Pesci. And Marv is played by Daniel Stern, which is, both those guys are amazing in this movie. I would have to say that Home Alone 1 and Home Alone 2 are both in my top 10. And at this point, I'm still up in the air on which one I like the best. Since we're not ranking these as far as what my top 10 is in order, this is definitely one of my top 10. It's everything about the movie, man. The home, when they're in the home, like the tarantula, Harry, slipping in the front and falling down on his back. Marv and the whole basement scene and him stepping on the nails and falling backwards. And it's just amazing, man. I think Daniel Stern, he stole the show. I think he did a great job. I don't know, man. It's just one of these movies I watch every year. Me and my family do. I mean, my kids want to watch it. My kids are 8, 6, and 3, and they're like, let's watch Home Alone. I'm like, cool with me. We probably watched at least, I'm going to say 10 times already this season. That's why it's on my top 10.
Nice. My personal thoughts on this are that I think that Kevin is actually Jigsaw from the Saw franchise as an 8-year-old. That's my theory on this. But Ed, what's your opinion?
Buttons. Yeah, a classic film, man. I could watch this anytime. The fact that it's a Christmas film just adds to it. But I always question what kid is actually that smart, even back in 1990, to think of all that stuff. But it's cool to think that way. And I think the more important question is, what in the heck job did Kevin's father have that he could afford that house back then in 1990? That's probably $1 million house in 2024. I don't know. But, everything about this film is iconic. Even the sequel that we may see later who knows? it's definitely just a fun film, and it's just a lot of fun, and it's part of my Christmas. So, and it should be part of everyone's Christmas.
Nice. Digital, how about you?
What a great and funny Christmas movie. But I have to say, what kind of parents, no matter how distracted you are, and those of us who are parents can probably agree with this, you're not going to forget your kid at home.
No.
I mean, how bad of parents are these folks? And I realize it's all, part of the script and whatever. And the two villains in this movie make it great. But, everyone who has kids that watch this movie, please explain to them that all of these booby traps are illegal. It is illegal to set booby traps in the United States.
Ha.
So please let your kids know when they're watching this. Please don't do this at home because it's illegal and you will go to jail.
Well, they're minors. They'll go to juvie at best. Raw, what about you?
The resourcefulness of Kevin McAllister is legend. He used a mob television show to keep these guys at bay for a while. Then, he uses all sorts of stuff. Tax, oil, whatever, you name it. This kid was a genius. People were ignoring, his family was ignoring him, but he had a hell of a Christmas time. Just doing what he do, being a kid. And it's one of those films that you wish you was home alone so you can do the same thing. So yeah, this is an A1 movie, man. The Sticky Bandits. Come on, Joe Pesci. Come on. Come on.
No, it was, Sticky Bandits.
Before I pass it on to Moto, I just want to remind Digital, remember that shitbag next door neighbor kid was going through their luggage while they were counting children.
Yeah, he was.
That's true, but still.
So, Moto Viper, what did you think?
Oh, just love it. Classic. It's we watch this every year, multiple times here in the household. Love the story. I agree, Daniel Stern. Oh, he's hilarious. He steals it for me. And this one's a gut buster. And yeah, he is a little terrorist, little shit, ain't he? But he's hindsight's 2020 looking back. But at the same time, when Spy Gear was out and all that stuff, and and we had that kind of stuff, we were thinking, yeah, we could do that and sling on over to the treehouse, and have our battle plan drawn out and showing that, because when you're the ultimate middle child, and not to mention that you're throwing a tantrum, that you are actually being a little shit, that with everything going on, your ass got left out. Now I do agree, of course, that any parent would realize within minutes, within hours, but it's like it almost had to happen because he was there to save the house from the wet bandits.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't Sticky Wet Bandits. There you go.
Sticky
Right, but look, in Raw's defense, Sticky often comes after wet.
In fact, I'm sitting here watching Home Alone 2 right now.
Touche.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a great movie. Another great movie as a kid, and I love watching all the little ones to this day. Still love this movie, how it's stood what's what am I trying to say? That I don't want to say the test, but yeah, I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's a great movie, man. Really good, really
Nice.
really good one. Classic.
M3, how about you?
I wrote this down because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. What Digital was saying. First of all, when all the kids were, when all the kids were there's that one kid that was talking to the repairman, and he was like one of the kids that got counted, so everybody was there in the parents' opinion. Then they had to rush, and hey, we're hoping that everybody's kind of watching over everybody. Oh shit! And then the other thing is, he wished for it. He literally wished for that. And you could see the wind howling at the right time and shit, you know, and the bell dinging or some shit, you know, whatever it was. But yeah, that was what I like, a magic involved movie. That's all I gotta say.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, this movie is very top notch. One of the best Christmas movies ever made. And the number of people that picked it shows that, because it is a rank of S. Now, next on the list is Home Alone 2. And this didn't have as many people pick it, but it still had a couple. So, Bullwinkle, why don't you start us off on Home Alone 2, The Revenge?
It's rock and roll. About the only thing that changed is the location and the time. This was made in 1992 versus 1990, and instead of being at Kevin's home, he actually took a little trip to New York City. This happened to run into the same bad guys. But as the chat said, their name's Sticky Bandits, not the Wet Bandits this time. Mm-hmm. And they want to go after a toy store. And this happens to be the toy store that Kevin went and talked to the owner and got a pair of doves. This is kind of a cool deal in the movie. And he befriends the lady in the park, and she's like sort of like the old man from the neighborhood from the first one. So, and of course the renovations that they're doing at his relative's home basically sets up traps just like he did in the first one. It's just brilliant, man. It's and like I said before, I don't like to choose too many sequels to be better than the very first ones, but I'm gonna say I think I'm liking Home Alone 2 more than Home Alone 1 the more I watch it. And I think this has to do with some of the cast too, because I mean, you still got Marv, you still got Harry, but you also have the guy that plays the concierge. And if anybody wants to help me out with his name.
Oh, the one that plays Balky? No.
Tim Curry.
Yes.
Curry. Oh, yeah, Tim Curry.
He's brilliant in that, man. So I think him just being part of that already great trio of Marv, Harry, and Kevin, and you throw him in there, and he just kind of works well with Kevin too. I don't know, man. It's just a great film. And like I said, we watch that just like we watch Home Alone 1 every Christmas here. My kids love it. And this was made in 1992, so that's why it's on my list.
All right, Ed, why don't you tell us how you were able to morally justify picking a movie with Donald Trump in it?
You know, I was gonna purposely not mention that. I was asked to personally not mention that. So I don't have a problem with it. That's when everybody liked Trump, and you can't say you didn't if you lived at that time. But this is I almost agree with Bull here, and I never really like to almost agree with Bull, but no, I'm just kidding.
Thanks, Ed.
I'm on the fence whether I like this more than the first one, because this really has the great story of the old guy in there that Kevin helps reunite with his daughter, and you know, and he meets him in the church there when he's running from the stinky, smelly, whatever bandits they're called in this film. This story has a lot more heart to it. I think they really went into the heart of the story there. And that part with the old man and his daughter, and then the lady in the park with the pigeons, is very heartwarming. That's really the heart of the film for me, the real Christmas spirit you get in this film. So this is a classic, and it should be equally viewed alongside the first one. You know, do yourself a marathon.
The old man and the daughter were the first one, though.
No, this was in the church, wasn't it? No, wait a minute now.
He meets the old man in the church. He's afraid of him up until then because the brother tells him he was the shovel killer.
He said the first one.
Yeah.
He's the one that rescues Kevin at the end of the first one.
Right.
Anyway, they're both great films. Watch them both. I'll have to double check that. But anyway, I love it. So it's a great film.
Right. And you know, I think maybe there were, you know, some people who I also think this might have been better than the first. But, you know, it was kind of like when we did the Marvel show with the Guardians of the Galaxy. I politically picked the first one because I knew I needed a Guardians in S rank, and I figured that was the one others would pick. But This got picked by 2, so it gets a rank of D.
So
Next
bad.
on the list, It's a Wonderful Life, also picked by only 2 of us. This was picked by Ed and I. And I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Ed.
I don't have much to say about this. Do I watch it all the time? No, probably not as much as I used to. But I grew up watching this film. I had older parents, so they would watch, older things. And so that's why I have an affinity more for the older stuff, the classics. And this is definitely a classic. As much as A Christmas Story is a modern classic, or Christmas Story or Die Hard, It's a Wonderful Life was like the Beatles. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always going to be there, and it should be on everybody's list because it's a great story of redemption. And Jimmy Stewart, what a treasure of an actor he was. Just one of the greats. There's just such heartwarming feelings here. You see the angel getting his wings when the bell rings and all that. Clarence, I think it is, if I remember correctly. And so it's a story of redemption for the angel. He's got to get this right. And so Frank Capra made some excellent films. Donna Reed, great actress. Lionel Barrymore, Drew Barrymore's father, for those that don't know, was in this. And it's just a wonderful, a feel good. If you need, it's very much, if you need a film that's like A Christmas Carol, that's about the redemption of a person and going from one extreme to the other and just finding that faith and resurgence and who they are, this is the film for you. So check it out. It's a classic. It's awesome. It's a classic for a reason.
Yeah, I won't add much to that. I will add just one little note, though, because for me, one thing this movie does, the moral lesson to this movie, I think, is feeling sorry for yourself drags everyone around you down with you. Right? So you shouldn't do that, because the whole point of this is he wishes that he was never born. And he realizes, through the movie, that him never being born affects others negatively. For example, his brother drowns in the icy lake because he's not there to save him. So, it's if you're getting in that mindset, talk to some friends that you love, people that care about you, and get out of that mindset. Don't drag everyone down with you. Instead, find a way to climb out. There's people around you who will help you do it. But this movie is a fantastic testament to Christmas. The only reason this doesn't play 24/7 on TNT is because the Christmas Story replaced it.
That's correct.
This was the one that used to play all day before A Christmas Story. Mm-hmm. And it's a wonderful movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Check it out. Amazing film. If you haven't seen it because you're young and you don't watch shit in black and white, get over yourself and watch it. Maybe next time it'll get better than a rank of D. Next on the list, Jingle All the Way. This was picked by a lot of people. Now, there was one other person who tried to pick it, but he tried to switch too late. I'm going to go ahead and let him say his piece on it as well. But when we get to your other movie, we're gonna skip past it, if that's all right. Is that all right, Kaz?
Shit. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sorry, I had to run away. You get
all right. Then Casual, I'm gonna let you start here.
I kind of got, man. Y'all know I got a lot going to be going on here. I'm actually fixing to have to dip after this, but I'll be just two dads fighting over a toy. That toy that you got to get for your kid, you know how sad they'll be if they don't get what you want them. So just the hustle, the struggle to try to get the toy for your kid, man. You hate to let them down. You want them to get what they wanted. So
what's up, folks?
Yeah, it's just a great movie. Great movie.
All right. Let's see who else picked this one. I know Curtis did. Curtis, remember to unmute yourself before you start talking.
He's muted.
Yeah, he's muted. All right. Then we're gonna pass it on to Raw.
Yes, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger's movie. What can I say? Him and Sinbad going after a doll, which I have currently. They made one finally because I wanted one when I was little. Watching this, younger, I should say, and it was just crazy. This part with the Santa Claus, the gangsters, they were all hustling, giving bootleg figures and everything, and then the Candy King nunchuck. Yo, this movie is one of the best. One of the best. And then old boy, I forget his name. He passed away trying to get at his wife.
Yeah, Phil Hartman.
Yeah, Phil Hartman. He's a funny motherfucker. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Great movie. That's all I can say. I mean, if you haven't watched this movie again, you have issues.
Yeah, I'll go next on this one. Yeah, this movie's great. Sinbad and Arnold fighting for a doll is hilarious. Arnold outclassing Sinbad in the run towards the radio station while chanting the names of the reindeer is priceless. The package bomb that actually turned out to be a real bomb. I mean, this is a sick world we live in. A sick world, right? And it had Jake Lloyd, and he didn't say yippee once. That's pretty great. Digital, what did you think? You're muted, my friend.
It had Jake Lloyd in it, and he didn't say wizard once. But give me the Turbo Man doll. I mean, you can't beat lines like that by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't think he got to do as much comedy as he really should have done. Jingle All the Way and Kindergarten Cop and Twins. Those are the only three that really come to mind. I'm sure there are probably some more, but he's a funny guy when given the right script. And him versus Sinbad was just it's classic.
Yes.
And it's great. And and this does, it I don't want to say trivialize, but it comediizes, that feeling that parents do get trying to get that one toy for their kids that they really want during Christmas time that everybody else wants too. So, but that's all I have to say about it.
Nice. Ed, why don't you go next?
Shout out to Santa Bruce that showed up on Kaz's channel there. Anyway, K-Man and I both worked retail for decades. I did it almost a decade more than he did, and we know what Black Friday was like. And when people came in to get that one toy and they would fight, they'd jump over pallets. I've seen it. I've been knocked back into a rack full of DVDs for $5 or whatever. VHS probably. So it's crazy. People were like that. I'm glad people do their online shopping. I don't go out in that foolishness. But this totally captures that. And like Caveman said, the feeling of not getting that one toy that is the hot toy that every kid has to have from Santa. And Schwarzenegger's at his best, one of his best films, in my opinion. He is so incredibly funny in this, probably next to Kindergarten Cop. And Sinbad is incredibly funny. He was still making movies at this time. He is great in this film. And Phil Hartman, a comedy genius. This film has so many talented folks in it. It just makes the film even better. And I guess I'll end it on this a quote, the great scholar, Jake Lloyd. Now that's pod racing.
Terrible. Moto, those are my cookies, but you can talk about them.
This movie is it reminds me of the Cabbage Patch doll craze, and for my era as being a parent of young children, it was the Tickle Me Elmo. So the consumerism in this movie, because this is pre-internet where you could order online, showed you the struggle of getting that to prove that your child, because you want to prove your child that you love them, you got them what they wanted, But if this was a hard toy to get, a very hard toy to get. So although comedy ensues, but at the end of the day, little pod racer dude was just happy about his dad.
Right. All right. M3. Before I pass it off to you, Casual had to go start his own stream on his own channel, but don't anybody leave. Until we're done here. Forget him until there's not us.
What?
Right. M3. Why don't you go ahead and give us your opinion and then address the chat?
Cool. Yeah. Shout out Kaz. We got this Jingle All the Way is good. I put it in because it definitely shows a reflection of like Moto was kind of enlightening on and stuff, but there's some funny one-liners in here. Phil Hartman, motherfucker, man. He's like massaging the wife's shoulders and then go take a shower, go take a bath, you'll be fine. I got the kids. She leaves. He fucking tells the kids to shut up.
Yeah.
And fucking eats their cookies and shit. I'm like, dude. But my wife doesn't like watching these kinds of movies because it gives her trust me, she's not like, oh, I have anxiety, but she can watch something and be like, yeah, fuck that. I hate dealing with shit like that. And those are nightmares, bro. So she don't like movies like that. She laughs about it, but yeah, it's one of those fucking heart pumping, like, gosh dang it, again, he gets foiled till he's just done as a man. He's like, fuck. Poor guy, dude. Yeah, man. But it was a good movie. Like it. I watch it every year.
Right. And the second movie, he knocked out a beast of burden with a punch.
That's dope.
But a lot of people picked it, so it gets a rank of S. It's our 4th S rank, people.
Nice.
Lots of S ranks from the Christmas week. Next on the list, Lethal Weapon, picked by Casual and Raw, but Casual has gone to his own show. So Raw, this one's all on you, my friend.
Okay, this is Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, classic Lethal Weapon. Christmas movie, because, things happen during Christmas, the crashing of the vehicle through the front of the house. You see the Christmas lights, the tree, everything. Mel Gibson does this is the best buddy cop movie ever. You know what I mean? You get the straight arm retired cop who he's like, he got a few more days left or he's getting too old for it. Then you got the crazy cop that suicidal, but not really. But he's just, what more can you say, man? It's Mel Gibson, Danny Glover. They're going against what's my man? He's crazy. Joshua. Played by what's his name?
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. This is before Gary Busey was crazy.
I like Gary Busey.
But yeah, man. Hey, like again, with all the movies we pick, if you haven't watched it, I believe something's wrong with you. That's me personally, because this is one of the best ones. Richard Donner, come on.
Right. Now, for me, this probably would have made a list. When we get to the year this came out, it will make my list for that. But to me, it's just not enough of a Christmas movie. Even though the movie opens up with a drug bust from guys who were selling a Christmas trees business to cover up their drug sales.
See? This is Christmas.
But 2 people voted it, so it gets a rank of D. Next on the list, Love Actually. This is Moto. This is all you, my friend. Why don't you tell us about Love Actually? Moto's muted. All right. Well, Moto's clearly
Moto's not there.
Yeah, he's in something else, so we're gonna skip it. But Moto liked Love Actually enough to put it on his list.
No,
I'm
sorry, guys. I thought I'd take the opportunity to go to the bathroom real quick. I do apologize for that.
All right. Well, yeah, you can tell us about Love Actually if you want.
I just got done doing that myself.
Oh, Love Actually. Oh man. To explain this movie would take as long as the movie plays, but I'll try my best to keep it as short as possible. It's a British movie involving 10 different scenario couples. It's all about love. Love lost, love won, love discovered, love longing, love lust, love truth. It's all about love. And you got a prime minister who falls in love with a staffer. You've got who's connected to a sister, and she's married to a marketing director who is thinking about, the he could have an affair with his secretary. He doesn't, but he could. And it all intertwines with each other somehow. Love lost. All-star cast. Liam Neeson loses his wife, and he has his stepson. Stepson always calls him by his name, but by the end of the movie, he calls him Dad because it's of a search for new love. And this is a boy that had just lost his mom, that he had lost a loved one. So, and the thing is that as when you see as much hate and negative talk throughout the day, when you do look around, love actually is everywhere. And the director of the movie used Heathrow Airport as a perfect example of that. Used real footage of loved ones, families, friends, all seeing each other, and you find that humans, our number one power, especially during Christmas, is love. And that's what I'll say about that. Sorry for the break I had to take.
It's all good, my friend. All good. Well, as much as Moto actually loves this movie, he was the only one to pick it, so it gets a rank of E. Next on the list, another movie only picked by one person, Miracle on 34th Street from 1940 something, I believe. Ed, why don't you tell us about Miracle on 34th Street?
Sure. Sorry.
Did I? Oh, I did pick this. Oh my gosh, this is a great classic movie. There's another, I think in the 90s they redid it, which I like that one, but I always usually like the originals. Maureen O'Hara, John Payne. It's a great film. It's just a really heartwarming story. I don't really have much to say about it except that Christmas isn't complete if I don't watch this movie. It's one of my tier list of films that I've got to watch to get into the Christmas mood to really help me, experience Christmas. I just think it's a really heartwarming story. And it's one of those, old time films that stands the test of time. It can be very multi-generational, and, there's good values in it. If you're looking for a film that's got good values and, safe for the kids to watch and all that. And, it's even better if you watch it with someone that's a little bit older that maybe remembers this film. It's a great way of bonding with people and seeing, what they loved about it, and creates a lot of good conversations. But it's about, I think for me, the film is about belief, and it's about, what you truly believe in, what's important in life, and what are things you want to prioritize in your life. And love and is definitely one of those things that you got to prioritize. It's just it says that it's groovy. I like how they said that. It's also groovy, and it's a groovy film. It's a great classic. I love it.
Right, and what a window into what trailers used to be like.
Definitely.
Crazy, right? It's just like a board of directors talking about the movie. Like, come on, man, that's nuts. Anyways, even though it's a great movie, only picked by one person, and therefore it gets a rank of E. Next on the list, this movie had more votes than any other movie on the list. Literally all but one person picked this movie. So all but one person will talk about this movie, and we're going to start right at the top with Curtis. Curtis, tell us about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You're muted, sir. You're still muted.
Still mute.
I wasn't muted.
Clearly, you were.
And now he's gone. All right. I guess we're just going to move on to M3. Go ahead, man.
Curtis, right when you come back. Hey, but this movie right here is hella.
And
You're
now
muted.
you're muted.
I bet Curtis is muting him.
Mute me, man. All right, I'll wait.
Fine, Curtis. You can go first. Jesus.
Sorry, guys. Christmas Vacation, I can argue with myself, is my favorite Christmas movie. Great cast. I mean, there's like everybody's had to have seen this movie by now. And it's just a great movie, and I'm gonna let it go and let you guys talk about it because there's so many people that got to talk about it. So go for it.
Well, all I'm going to say about it before I pass it to M3 is you should all be looking out in the mail for your year membership to Jelly of the Month Club. All right, M3, go ahead.
Hey,
That's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
man, you know me, man. This guy is a dad. He's fucking just living through life and has got to deal with this shit. But he goes to the fucking leave it to Chevy Chase movies, man. Goes to the mall before Russ walks up. He's talking to that girl, man, and then she happens to be in his dream. Malika Liki Maka is the thing to do or say. Day. Fucking love that shit, dude. I love all that damn movie, all the way to the fucking from the front with the cartoon to the end to the cartoon. It's fucking amazing. That's all I gotta say.
Nice. Ed?
You're muted.
Yeah, I know. We're all trying to obey the rules here. Christmas Vacation. If you say someone's a Clark Griswold, more times than not, they're going to think of this film and they're going to think of Christmas with the lights, because it becomes that competition. And each of us knows somebody in our neighborhood that has the best Christmas display. And you've probably always got two people competing. So it's like, more isn't better. But in this case, it's just so hilarious. And you got Cousin Eddie. Of course, I identify with Cousin Eddie, right? But it's such a great cast. And for some people, this is their favorite National Lampoon's film, even over the first one. And for some, European Vacation. I like all three of those. I'm teetering towards the point, especially this time of year. This is one of my favorite films. And it's just Chevy Chase at his best. And he plays the role of, like Bull said, the everyday father just trying to get through stuff. And he just has all these terrible things happen. And it's just so Clark Griswold. And it's a great classic movie. Everybody should check it out.
Moto, how about you?
I can totally relate to that. I've had those Clark Griswold days, and that's what comes to my mind, And it's just like everything this guy does is just, God, why is the world against me? So that's the character of Clark Griswold to me. And this is by far my number one movie as a child and as an adult, and fortunate enough to, when I married into this family, that this is my wife's side of the family, this is their number one movie. And so we all quote this movie at gatherings. We all watch this movie. It's always on in the background when we get together at Christmas. It's just, this is, to me, the epitome of a staple Christmas movie for my generation. What gets me the best is when he's listening to Ray Charles in the attic. Great. It's great. And then it ends with him dropping right out of the ceiling when Beverly Angela opens the hatch. But it made you go from laughing to feeling, to laughing or off again, and that's the Griswolds, and I'll leave the rest up for the next.
Bullwiggle, do you want to kidnap your brother's boss for Christmas?
I would do it if he needed me to. Christmas Vacation, man. It is my all-time favorite Christmas movie. I've loved it since the very first time I watched it. I don't think anything's ever going to beat it out for the best Christmas movie. I also think it's the best vacation movie of all time. That's just my opinion. I think Clark and Eddie, movie magic every time they're fucking together. Excuse my language, but every time they're together. I'm telling you, man, the scene just with the dog and Uncle Eddie's telling him to just let him finish. And then he tells him to go in the kitchen to get something to eat. And then, I mean, just everything about it, the turkey being messed up and everybody at the table eating the food that was all jacked up. And I don't know, man, it's just a great flick. Chevy Chase in The Office, when all like the C-suite people walk by and he's like, kiss my ass, kiss his ass, kiss your own ass, you know. The cast in there. I mean, of course, Randy Quaid, Chevy Chase, Julia Dreyfus, you know, she's the next door neighbor. I love the scene where he's like, bend over and I'll show you. He's like, I wasn't talking to you, because he's talking to his wife. I mean, it's perfect, dude. Just the lights on the house and how dramatic it was with he's trying to do it. And it's just ironic that the switch is on the very back end of the house and it's just not connecting for like 10 minutes. And the whole family is like, God, what are we doing out here? What's he's doing? He's such an idiot. Like everything about the movie, man, it's just great. And that's why it's my number one Christmas movie of all time, which makes it on my top 10.
All right, Digital, get that damn cat away from the wire and then tell us what you think about this movie.
Shitter's full. And, those of us who are parents, who has not shared that frustration of there's a light not working that causes everything to not work. Especially, for us that have kids and trying to get them to enjoy into that Christmas spirit. And Chevy Chase, when he was still funny.
He's always funny.
No, not always funny. He was still funny up to this point.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
I think some newer things he's in, not as much. But it says it all right there on the top of the poster. You'll crack up. And you will. And especially like Bull was saying, all the interactions between Chevy Chase and cousin
Randy Quaid. Yeah.
Randy Quaid. Yeah. Just it's that's all gold. And they're walking through the store and Clark's trying to tell him, hey, we want to help you out with Christmas because we know you're having a hard time. So he's just filling the damn card up. It's crazy.
I love that poster.
It's crazy fun. And so I'll pass it on to whoever's next.
No, that's it, my friend. And you're correct. You are. Great movie. Chevy Chase at his best.
If you allow me to
pretty much everybody but Raw picked this, so this gets a rank of S. Another S rank movie for us, guys.
Raw, what's wrong with you?
Oh, I just didn't have room on my list. That's
Next
the only
on the
thing.
list, this movie was picked just by M3, although I do absolutely adore this movie. It's fantastic.
And while I hate to interrupt, but while M3's talking about that, my rental period has expired and I shall return.
Awesome. M3, tell us about Office Christmas Party.
Office Party is one of those just kind of like near raunchy, but smoothly done. One of those like Porky's movies, you're going to see some titty, you got to see some Wayner up in this motherfucker and shit. It was an Office Christmas Party, like everything. Once again, another magical thing that happened when I forget his name, but the guy that was in Transformers 4 fucking talks in the mirror and he's making a Christmas wish, and boom, fucking magic happens. And they have a fucking Jason Bateman is one of my favorite male characters. I like Jennifer Aniston. I like him right there. Her from Saturday Night Live was up in this cast. Even was in that shit. And the dancing, the moves on the floor, the whole thing came together really well. Fucking, I like this movie a lot. I watch it every year since it came out, and a good watch. I'll pass. Or am I the only one that picked?
You're the only one on this one, brother. Yeah. But that's fine.
Okay. So one time they put cocaine, like the hooker got hired to be with a guy to come to the party to act like that was his girlfriend. Well, she had some coke in her bag and she left it on top where they had this machine that shot fake snow out. And somebody who didn't know put it in there, and fucking coke went everywhere, right? And at first it's a whole epic scheme of like an office that really needs a break. And they get a hold of a good investor. And that investor at the end, after being coked out, fucking had a great time, got out of his fucking sterile human form and became a fucking partier that wanted to merge with the company, and they fucking did well at the end. Is good.
Nice. And I love TJ Miller, man. I don't care about his reputation. He's hilarious. Mm-hmm. But only one person picked it, so it gets a rank of E. Next on the list, well, this is the movie that was only picked by Casual that he switched out for Jingle All the Way. And here's why. What he really wanted was to spend Thanksgiving with his family, which is why I tried to get him to switch it earlier, but he delayed too long. But it'll get a little rank of E just as an honorary. At least Thanksgiving's a holiday, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Scrooged, another one picked by a lot of people. In my opinion, the absolute best version of A Christmas Carol. So this is somebody's echoing. But Scrooged, Bill Murray at his absolute best. The ghosts were hilarious. Buster Poindexter, Carole King. It's great at like making you laugh, and it has that whole leaves you feeling warm at the end. It's got Karen Allen in her prime, looking absolutely beautiful. But yeah, this movie is my absolute favorite rendition of the A Christmas Carol story. And I'm not going to say much more about it. I'm going to go ahead and let somebody else go. I believe, Bullwinkle, you picked this movie too, right?
Yes, I did.
Why don't you start talking?
This movie was from 1988, and it's a great Bill Murray movie. I would have to say my favorite Christmas Carol will always be Mickey's Christmas Carol, because I love Scrooge McDuck for whatever reason as a child watching that. But this movie is this is my favorite movie version of this. It's because I love Bill Murray. I think this goes on and was born in the 70s, 80s kid, loved everything Bill Murray did. He was all in the 80s, all the great movies. It's a Christmas miracle, and just like Prophet said, the ghost, they're all amazing. Christmas Present. I love how she was so aggressive. She flew in and she kicked him in the balls. But before that, he's like looking at her like, wow, hey. And this is hilarious, man. It's just the Russian vodka. He kind of blames it on that. He's like, what's wrong here? This Russian vodka is from Chernobyl. I just think this is great. Anything Bill Murray says, over time, we all could probably quote 100 quotes from all different movies, just one-liners that he said alone. And that's one reason this movie is on my top 10 Christmas.
Moto Viber, how about you?
Yeah, absolutely love the story of the Christmas Carol. So I agree with you. This is, to me, the best version of that. I love Bill Murray. I think he does a great performance in this, and it's very heart feeling. Going back to his girl, getting there, the path set before him to get there, and realize before it was too late. And yeah, I'll just add on. I'm sure everybody's going to say the same thing. It's if you're a fan of A Christmas Carol, this is my favorite version.
You just like his name.
True.
All right, Ed, how about you?
I love Scrooge, yeah. And as much as I love A Christmas Carol, this for like a modern retelling in 1988, this was the film. And I literally watched this yesterday. It came on probably TNT or one of those channels. And one of my standouts, there's a couple standouts in there. Obviously, Carol Kane is, was she the ghost of Christmas Past? I think.
Yeah, she's passed.
Past. And you have Buster Poindexter, who did that song "Hot, Hot, Hot." It was really big back then. He was a taxi driver, and he's so awesome in this, so gritty, and this is almost a borderline horror movie in parts, if you think about it. But, it's got a little tinge of that, but it works on so many levels, and you can tell when like Bill Murray has his epiphany, and he's on the station there. He is almost in tears when he's giving his performance. That's why it feels so heartfelt to me. It's definitely one hit at his best. I cannot think of the lady that is his secretary right now. That's Alfre Woodard. I didn't realize that. I just looked it up. She is so great as his secretary and trying to do what he says. And from working in corporate America, that little boardroom feels very familiar. And how, I'm a $6 Million Man fan, so that starts off with Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man, who's trying to, come in there and blow everybody away to save Santa Claus and Christmas. And I love that beginning, of course. So this movie has everything in it for me. I love it. It's an absolute classic. I could watch it any day, and it's just great. Everybody should check it out.
Curtis, how about you?
Great movie. I love the part with what's his name? Bobcat, what's his name? Comes in, starts blowing the office up with his shotgun and stuff. It was great. But you guys pretty much are already covering all that stuff. On to the next guy.
All right, M3, why don't you give us your opinion and then address the chat for us?
All right. Hey, I love this fucking movie, man. It is great from start to finish, and it really pulls out some funny stuff, man. I love the cast. I like the Bob or Marley's fucking character. Excuse me, Marley's character as the owner of the company, right? And he's telling him, and then all the I like the animatronics of real flesh being used in those. It wasn't CGI. It wasn't nothing like that. They did really good with how he dismantled. It was great. His arms out the window. Oh man! And then it's just one of those other movies like It's a Wonderful Life. You realize what you have when you're only dead, right? Shit. So then he comes back. I like that. It's great. That's all.
Well, I think the big takeaway here, before M3 addresses the chat, is that you should never try to staple antlers on a mouse.
Hey, but what's up, Skydro? Skydro says it's a classic. Yes.
And it's a rank S.
Nice.
Excuse me. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead. Talk to the chat, M3.
Skydro says, let's $% King go. Susan Germ still here. Johnny O said, squirrel. That's right. That fucking part was hella funny, dude.
It was.
Old school. The shitter was full. That's great.
Nice. So yeah, we probably should have caught up after vacation.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on. The next movie on the list, this is all Moto, Smoky Mountain Christmas. Moto.
I'll be back.
Dolly Parton.
The child. My grandmother comes from the Black Hills of Tennessee, and I remember watching this with her, so this was a very special thing. And the story goes is Lorna is portrayed by Dolly Parton, famous country western singer, but her managers and everybody else is promoting her more towards the rock style, kind of like the country music we have nowadays. And so she comes up with her plan of calling her best friend Mary Lou back in Tennessee, saying, your parents' cabin on the other side of the holler. Is it, you guys still have that? And she says, yeah. And so she decides she's going to go there and she's going to get away from public. You know what I mean? Just get away from it all. It's too much. That's that city life. Well, she goes to the cabin and then come to find out at the cabin, there's these little children that lost their mom. They went to an orphanage by the evil Hattie and Maddie sisters. So they escaped and they found this cabin and they were making it their own home. But then Lorna shows up and they call her the angel, a Christmas angel. And Lorna says, what,
That's part of that movie.
I don't want to be known that I'm out here. I don't want nobody, so I'm not going to give anybody up on you. I'm not going to let anybody know that you're here as well. So they have a deal. And then one night, a gentleman on a horse walks by and all the children freak out saying, oh my God, it's Mountain Dan. And he does this and he does that. And he takes the children's bones and he makes weapons out of them and stuff, you know? So he was this mountain man that was just, you know, a monster to these children. But Lorna and Mountain Dan meet. Mountain Dan's the same way. He's a lawyer from the city. Just had to get away. Got to get away from the too much peopling. And so they relate. And then there's this evil, I don't know if you want to call her a Christmas witch, but there's this witch in this movie called Lady Jezebel. And Lady Jezebel has a cast on the sheriff and a few other people throughout the movie to take out, basically, Lorna. And to get rid of her because the sheriff, who she enchanted, is actually falling for Smoky Mountain Christmas girl Dolly Parton. But he's no saint. The dude's actually a piece of trash, you know. I mean, I could go on and on about this because this was another one of those yearly movies we watched all together as a kid. And what it amounts down to is that at the end of the day, everybody becomes a family. Lee Majors, Dolly Parton, all the children, and they celebrate and become one. And it's all based on love.
All right. I would say go check it out, but you don't have to now. Frank told you the whole movie. And it gets rank of 8.
Oh my God. Any of you guys would go see it.
No, thank you, Moto. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Moto.
Thanks, Moto.
Yeah.
All right. Next on the list, The Grinch. This was picked by 3 of us, Bull, myself, and Curtis. And we're going to let Curtis go first this time. Curtis, tell us about The Grinch.
The Grinch with Jim Carrey. Great movie. Took my kids to see it, and they were all little. They loved it. He was just great with the facial expressions and the tiptoeing around. The whole thing was good. I liked the makeup, the costumes, everything, the cast. It was great. I mean, I still picture every time I hear Jim Carrey's Grinch, him going through the garbage and grabbing the onion and biting into it, eating it like an apple. But it's a really good Ron Howard movie. So next person.
Nice. Bullwinkle, even though you haven't grown into your nose, we're going to let you talk about the film next.
This film is, a Ron Howard film, which is amazing. Kurt just said that. Mm-hmm. Jim Carrey, 2000 is when this was made. What can I say? It's from the classic Grinch, right? The one that I grew up with, that we all watched as kids from 1966, right? The version we saw on TV. And this Jim Carrey just embodied that character like he does in so many other characters. He did it another time in this one. That's what makes this movie so wonderful, because he Jim Carreyed it, right? No one else could play this. Maybe one or two might, but not like the way Jim Carrey played it. And then the set designers that did this, and their team, like it is Whoville. That's what I'm watching. It's Whoville. And I loved it when it first came out, and I still love it now as a father. We've already watched this film 3 or 4 times this season. It's one of the Bullwinkle 80, films that we watch around Christmas. My kids love them. My 8-year-old loves it. My 6-year-old loves it. My 3-year-old love it. They love this film. And that's so great that still, like 24, 25 years later, kids are still digging this. That's not a cartoon. It's just not. They dig it just like it is a cartoon. And that's why it made my top 10.
Well, all I'll say about it is, how dare those Who's inviting me down there, and on such short notice. Even if I wanted to, my schedule wouldn't allow it. Let's see, 3 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4 o'clock, jazzercise. 5 o'clock, dinner with me. I can't cancel that again. Anyway, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it. It'll make your heart grow 3 sizes.
Yes.
Just like it got 3 votes, and therefore it's a rank of C. Next on the list, The Nightmare Before Christmas, picked by Digital and myself. Digital, why don't you start us off on The Nightmare Before Christmas?
This is one of those films where you can tell Tim Burton's first and best love is stop motion animation. I mean, this is one of those movies where he poured everything into it. And while I'm not a super fan of this movie, my oldest daughter is. And so we watch this every year because she loves this movie. But it is a great movie. And the stop motion in it is great, and just, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the story's fantastic. I like that each holiday has its own zone. I thought Oogie Boogie was a great villain. I thought that all the music was wonderful, and I thought Danny Elfman as the singing voice of Jack was fantastic. One little misnomer that most people get on this: it is not directed by Tim Burton. It was designed by Tim Burton, written by Tim Burton, but he only produced it. He did not direct it. Danny Elfman, this was he does all of Tim Burton's scores. Find me a Tim Burton movie without a Danny Elfman score, and I'll be shocked. But the music in this movie, the animation in this movie, the story overall, the comedy, this is a classic that can be watched on Halloween or Christmas. And I highly recommend people watch it on both. It's fantastic. And you may be thinking Jack is a homewrecker for stealing Sally from the old professor. But remember, the old professor just makes himself a female version of himself at the end. So he's fine. Anyways, picked by 2 people, so it gets a rank of D, even though I believe it deserves much, much better. Anyways, moving on. Next, we have the Polar Express, picked by Bull and M3. Bullwinkle, why don't you start us off on the Polar Express?
All right, the Polar Express, 2004 movie, starring Tom Hanks, but not only starring Tom Hanks, it also was produced by Tom Hanks. It was directed by the same director of Forrest Gump and Castaway. So it was magic, man. It wasn't something that I really watched back in the early 2000s when it came out, but it's something that we have adopted in my household because my kids really dig it. Even though I think it's a little dated when you view it now, the story is so cool, man, about kids and this child right here not truly believing in Santa you know. So he takes this magic train ride to the North Pole, and they kind of go on some adventures. Him and a couple people he became friends with on the train ride up there, and they kind of learn the magic of Christmas. And he hears the bells, and Santa gives him the first gift of all the kids that year. And he picks the bell that he hears, and he kind of carries it with him throughout his life. And I think it speaks about as adults getting older, kind of losing that Christmas spirit and what Santa was. So it's kind of cool, man. And my kids dig it too. I think I'm like choppy right now on my video for whatever reason. So
No, you're good.
I hope my voice is coming through correct. So.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. We'll let you know if there's a problem.
So, you know, that's and another cool thing too is a couple years back, 2 years ago, we took a trip. It was about an hour and a half drive, and we went and did the Polar Express experience on the train. I took my kids. We all wore our pajamas. They did the dance scene. They did the hot chocolates, and it was so cool, man. We got to see Santa. He got on the train and walked by, and there was a Tom Hanks conductor guy on there taking everyone's tickets and stapling and doing the tickets. It was just really cool, man. They did it up just like the movie. So when I think about Christmas and Christmas movies, this is always a winner in the Bullwinkle household. So that's why it's on my top 10.
Nice. M3, why don't you tell us if you actually believe they went on the magical train ride, or if there was some questionable mushrooms on their pizza the night before?
Yes, they were all hallucinating. But no, this is a movie that I look at my Amazon Prime and what did I purchase, right? And there's a list of movies, and this is one that I've purchased, and I watch it every year since like probably, I don't know, 5-6 years. It's just something that I like having on in the background where it's playing, catch certain parts, but it's the essence of like people, yeah, like Bull was saying, like losing the spirit, not knowing, and then realizing and being like, all the way through the end. I like the moose scene or all the elk. I'm pretty sure there are elks there, if you will. And they were all fucking and then it let the train go. Then the train did pretty good. And there was the hobo on top, which was the conductor. It was pretty epic scenes too, and especially like the train was going through some shit at some times. It was great. It was good. I liked it. Oh, and the only one thing I'd say I didn't like about it was when all the fucking waiters came out and they started dancing and singing. I was like, oh god, dude, it's a sing along, but it was fine. But nobody got to drink their hot chocolate because they were doing their thing and shit. We're like, wait, it's crazy. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Good movie. Good, Chris. I like it.
Well, it was probably good that they didn't drink the hot chocolate. I mean, they were having it given to them by strangers who abducted them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
that's how you get
right,
your
so it gets a rank of D.
Ooh.
Next on the list, The Ref. Great movie. Didn't have room for it, but Moto did. Moto, why don't you tell us how amazing The Ref is?
So choppy. You better know.
Moto?
Yeah, that was a movie I couldn't put on my list.
Are you there, Moto?
Hey, Bull, you're good, dude. You sound good. You're not choppy. Moto's
Thanks, man.
go to the bathroom.
All right, Moto has stepped away. But
I'm
yeah.
right here, guys. I'm Moto.
Well, I'll go ahead and just say for him since he's not here. Basically, Dennis Leary is a burglar, and he's robbing. And he robbed somebody, and then he's hiding out in this house, holding the family hostage. But only only those two know they're being held hostage. The rest of the people think he's their therapist because they're getting a divorce or whatever. But it's a great movie. Definitely check it out. I wanted to put it on my list so badly, but I just didn't have room.
Yeah. Same.
And but only Moto picked it, so it's gonna get a rank of E.
Never heard of that movie.
Oh, it's great. Next on the list is the Santa Claus, picked by Digital and Curtis.
Woohoo!
Digital, why don't you go first this time?
It's kind of fresh take on the Santa Claus mythos, that it's not just one guy, it perpetuates through the generations. And when Santa Claus dies, whoever finds the card takes over. And Tim Allen, this is probably one of he's at the height of everything for him. And I think it's a great movie for him. And his kids, my dad's Santa Claus, and nobody believes him. And who is it? Judge Reinhold is his mom's new husband or whatever, and he's a psychiatrist or psychologist or something. And just his interactions with the elves, and it's just a great fun Christmas movie.
That it is, my friend. All right. And the other person who picked this film
Me.
was Curtis. Curtis, why don't you tell us your opinion about the film?
Yeah, I just watched this just before we started our show today.
Nice.
It's one of my favorites. The reason why it's one of my favorites is because it's kind of seen through more of the kids' eyes than the adults, and it shows how nobody believes the kid and how adults get when they get older. They know it all, and nobody can tell them anything different. And it which ends up hurting kids a lot. But it's a really good take. Of course, it's Tim Allen, one of my favorites. The wife in it, man, she was brutal for most of that movie. Oh my God, she was one of those Karen type people. Yeah, Judge Reinhold, which was good. He was a psychiatrist, but he would know I'm a doctor type guy, Yeah, it was good. I liked it. It's one of my favorites to watch. I watch it every year. I like all the movies that they did of this, plus the TV series that they did on Disney Plus. They had 2 seasons. And that was even better than these movies, I thought.
Well, it's not hard to be better than this amount of front butt.
That's the biggest camel toe ever. Look at that.
I will say that he has a much that he is the wife he gets in the Mrs. Claus is a huge step up from the one he left behind in this one.
Oh yeah, I don't know if anybody realizes though, but what's his name? The guy from Young Frankenstein and Everybody Loves Raymond's dad, he plays in this. I forget.
Yeah, Peter Boyle.
Yeah.
Peter Boyle. Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but only 2 people picked it, so it gets a rank of D.
For D's nuts.
Next on the list, Trading Places. This was picked by Kaz, Raw, and Curtis. Kaz is already gone, so this is all about Raw and Curtis. Raw, you haven't had to say anything for a long time. We're going to let you go first.
I had no legs. I can't see. Come on, man. When he's locked up in jail, he's like, with these, I killed them. I'm a chain belt karate expert. I mean, you even had what you call it in the jail with him. If y'all notice from he's in all the movies. He was in the joint with old boy when they selling drugs and stuff. But El Pollo guy, I forget his name. But this movie with Dan Aykroyd, come on, man. Legendary movie. Man.
Yes.
The Prince and the Pauper type deal, switching places, and just the mayhem that goes on with how high society looks at low society, but it's the same game. It's the butler was the key element of the whole thing, because I'm like, how the fuck he maintained a straight face throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
you guys were nutty. And then Jamie Lee Curtis, her first titty shot that I've seen.
Yeah.
Perfect titties, man. She had the perfect titties, man. You know, I fell in love with her after this movie, man. Really. I mean, I loved her in Halloween, but damn, the titty shot, that was perfect. But yeah, you know, he had that party. That was crazy. Everybody on cocaine, pimps everywhere. I love that part. You know, and then when he went into the bar, you know, and then he's like, "Yeah, party at my house, Billy Ray." He's like, "Oh, Billy Ray." Then the dudes, he's like, "Yeah, party. That's your limousine, yeah." You know, it's just crazy. And then Mortimer and what you call it,
Randolph.
those guys, yo, I even love them because it was just testing. They just didn't give a fuck. They were so rich. They said, "Fuck it, we gonna ruin 2 lives. We're gonna make one life better and ruin the other life for $1."
Yeah.
Yo, for a fucking dollar.
Dollar.
A fucking dollar.
Right. And wasn't it Jim Belushi in the gorilla suit?
Oh yes, he was in it. You know, there was a few people in that in the movie. Yeah.
Nice. Curtis, what did you think?
A boo da boo da boo da boo. A boo da boo da boo da boo.
Yeah.
Raw covered it mostly. Damn, he didn't leave me with hardly anything.
Sorry, man. Sorry. That shit was a crazy fucking movie.
It was. It's great. It's one of my favorite movies. On top of it being a Christmas movie, and it is a Christmas movie. It's during Christmas. You got Christmas stuff all over the place. They talk about Christmas bonus checks and shit, and there's all kinds of Christmas stuff in it. Tons of it.
I mean, Dan Aykroyd steals a sandwich in a Santa suit.
Yes. He's trying to bite it, and it's like caught up in the beard and shit. He's like, "Argh."
Yeah.
This shit was funny, man. That was like such a great movie. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, honestly, if it was more about Christmas, it would have made my list.
And
But
it
because only
stretched
2
into-
picked it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. You were still going?
I was just saying it stretched into New Year's when they
Yeah,
were
I
on
was on a lot of places. Dang gong, bang gong. A lot of places.
Nice. But yeah,
Like, my legs. I got my legs. I can walk. I
3
can
people picked it. So
Eddie Murphy's great.
M3, before we move on, do you want to address the chat?
C is for Curtis, and Curtis.
Yeah.
is
Real
Hey,
quick, what was the movie where the 2 main characters in that movie trading places, the rich guys, they're now become bums and sitting down in
So
the
you're talking Coming to America.
Coming to America.
Coming to America. Hey, we're back, Mortimer. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I liked how they carried through that. But Johnny Ohm is still here. What's up, Johnny Ohm? Mark Cosplay's still here. What up, Mark Cosplay? Geek Homer poking in chat. Skydro said classic. But yeah, nothing most recent except for Johnny Ohm still here. He said I never did finish Trading Places. I want to rewatch it so bad. Yeah.
All right. Well, next on the list, we're almost through here, guys. We've got Trapped in Paradise, and this is one of Raw's picks. Raw, why don't you tell us why Dana Carey, John Lovitz, and Nicolas Cage are a good pairing?
Oh man, hilarious from the beginning. These brothers are like scam artists, con artists, and they con one of the 2 brothers that got caught in jail. They con this mobster into telling them where they had a nice plan to rob this bank, where it so happens that the mobster's daughter is in that bank, right? And it's during Christmas, so these guys go to do the job. They rob the bank, but they get trapped up because there was a winter storm, a Christmas storm and stuff. And the whole neighborhood, the whole town, that's where all their money went, where they give the money to the children and all that stuff. All this crazy stuff happened. But Dana Carey takes the cake, man. This dude, it was like the Three Stooges. This is what it was. It was a modern Three Stooges bank heist. I advise everybody to watch this shit.
What's it called?
It's Trapped in Paradise. It is crazy funny. crazy funny. You'll love it. Trust me.
Yeah,
Classic.
and it's one of those movies where it's like the moral is, you know, people can do something selfish, but then when they realize how negatively it's affecting good people, they may change their minds about it.
Yeah, shit is so funny.
They all kind of look alike.
It is a good movie.
In their faces and nose, they all kind of look alike.
Yeah, classic.
But yeah, sadly, only Raw had room on his list for it, so it gets the rank of E.
I've never even heard of that movie.
Yeah, check it out. You'll bug out. You'll be like,
I want to watch it. I love John Lovitz and Dana.
Yeah, Lovitz is funny. He's funny as hell.
It is a great film.
Yep.
Next on the list, the last movie of the night, guys. Picked by Moto, myself, and Curtis.
I wanted it on my
list. And I don't want Curtis to have, to worry about everyone taking everything. So Curtis can go first this time.
This movie came out last year, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, I did trivia for it on Christmas Bangers.
Yeah. So there's gonna be spoilers. If you haven't seen it, too bad. This is a great movie. Great movie, man. It's like a Die Hard, but like instead of Bruce Willis, you got like Santa Claus doing it. And it's during Christmas, and it's a heist movie. You know, it's got a great list of characters. The violence in it is awesome. Like Santa Claus is kind of a little bit like Jackie Chan. He uses anything that's around him to fight and kill somebody. It's crazy. It's great, but I know Prophet wants to talk about this. Go, Prophet.
I will say thanks for stopping in, Heather. But I'm going to let Moto say his piece before I say mine to close it out. Go ahead, Moto.
This movie was not expected. I saw the trailer for it, but when I watched it, I just thought it was good. Christmas references used left and right. Santa Claus, Viking warrior who became Santa Claus. And then I think it was just a really done rendition of something totally different. And I'll leave it to you, Prophet.
Yeah, I will start by saying I absolutely love the fact that when the reindeer finally come back for him, his wife sent him Skull Crusher, his old Warhammer from when he was a Viking. Fucking awesome. John Leguizamo is an amazing villain in this. I love that all of his henchmen had Christmas names like Gingerbread and just such great stuff. Candy Cane was one of their names. Like, all the fight scenes are incredible. Like, this is just the best badass Santa movie that I've seen. Of course, I haven't seen The Fat Man yet, so I reserve judgment. But yeah, man, the reindeer are hilarious. David Harbour, like, they couldn't have picked a better Santa for this film. I absolutely love this movie. This is a Christmas staple for me, and it's like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's the only movie on my list that isn't like 10 years old or more. This is just phenomenal as far as like a Christmas movie go, and it's Die Hard with Santa as John McClane.
Right.
It really is. And the fact that like he would have like left his family to fucking die if it wasn't for the little girl who was on the good list. Because everyone else in this family was on the naughty list for sure. But but the fact that like, the little girl was on the good list and that was enough for Santa to risk his life to stay and like save the family. Man, this movie's so good. All the scenes where Santa's talking to her on the radio are just so priceless. And even the evil money grubbing mother like turns it around at the end,
Which was who?
Beverly D'Angelo, right?
Yes.
Right. So yeah, this movie, man, like if I was putting my ranking in order, this would probably be like number 3 behind like Christmas Vacation and Gremlins.
Right.
But it's top of the food chain for me.
Damn, really? Huh.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is our last one of the night. It was picked by 3, so it gets a rank of C.
I need to watch that.
That's
Yeah, I need to see that one now.
our ranking board right there for anyone who wants a better look at it. And now that we're done, guys, do you want to talk about how things ranked out?
Well, I do want to apologize for not being here to talk about the ref, but I was dealing with the family situation about Christmas. So
It's all good, man. I covered it for you because I
Thank you.
love
I
that movie
appreciate
too. It almost made my list.
thank you. I appreciate that, sir.
I think it's ironic how there's not too many A or B movies. It's like a lot of people picked S, like more so than most times, but a lot of people picked D and E too. So it's kind of like jump between the two. There's not really a lot of A or B's or C's there.
Yeah, I feel like we either loved it or we didn't.
Yep. Which is
Well,
great.
you know, again, this is all of our top 10s.
Yeah,
So I think like all of these are good movies.
they
Yes.
are. You
You
are
know,
correct.
it's just the reason S got so many was because S was whether it was picked from 6 to 9 people, whereas A was 5 people, B was 4 people. You know what I mean? It was a little more specific on those.
It's a good looking board. It
Oh,
looks
great, man.
It makes
Yeah.
sense. The board is always
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, I can't disagree with anything that's on there.
There are even
And there's
films on here.
actually some movies on there that I want to see now.
Yeah, I was about to say there's a lot of D and E movies that, looking at what you guys picked, that I would want to detract one from my top 10 and move it on over. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. You know,
Has everybody seen the ref?
Yeah, I've seen
I've
it.
never seen that.
I've seen it. It's funny as hell too.
What about
Yeah,
Smoke
Moto, if you
Metal
want to
Fist?
like take a couple minutes to talk about the ref, you can, man.
No. It's okay. I was just curious if people have seen those because I highly recommend it. It is funny as shit.
Yeah.
If you remember late 90s Dennis Leary,
Yes.
his angry, smart ass,
Yeah, he's great.
yo.
Yeah, remember him in Rescue Me?
He
Yeah, he was great in the 2000s when he had that fire show.
Yeah, Rescue Me.
Yeah,
That was great.
Yeah, that
I'm sure Prophet said this, but he ends up being the marriage counselor for these two without even noticing it. He's just trying to get them to quote, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
Right.
Remember when he told the mother? He told the mother like your
Yeah.
son is doing this and then because you're insufferable. He's just breaking her down.
Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah,
what the
so-
fuck kind of
You know, I have to say my favorite bar in the asshole song is sometimes I drive or sometimes I park in handicapped spaces while handicapped people make handicapped faces.
Yeah.
I love that line, man. It's so hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ref is really good. If you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor because he's just trying to hide from the cops in this house with these people who are on the verge of divorce. And, you know, he winds up like, you know, tying them up, but then their family comes over for Christmas and basically they agree to pretend he's their therapist so that the family doesn't suspect that they're being, you know, held hostage or whatever. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Hey, Prophet, if there's the ranking of A, B, C, D, E, that's alphabetical relation. But what's the S tier?
Superior.
It's an anime thing. It's S tier is it's a superior.
Ah, that's great.
Superior.
Oh,
What's your favorite anime Christmas movie,
It
Prophet?
stands for Super Saiyan.
that's great.
I can't think of an anime Christmas movie.
Hey, I would have to say though, if you asked me what my top 10 was today, Red One would definitely be in my top 10, and I've only seen that movie one time.
Really?
Yeah, well, there you go. Like I said at the beginning, I think we're giving Red One an honorary A rank, so you
Yeah,
can actually
it-
put a second film in that A there.
It's so good, dude.
Right,
It's so good to see. And I went into it with expectations, not wanting to even care about it, and I was like, "What? This movie's gold! Like it's going to be that next Christmas movie that I'll watch for the next 10 years."
Hey,
Cool.
every Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Next year it'll probably be Rambo. I'll put on the list.
See,
Rambo.
I was thinking about Rambo too.
It's kind of funny
Raw.
because here we are in an era where we're not supposed to fat shame, but all of our Santas are fucking fit now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, RFK is the next fucking Santa, dude.
Yeah.
Right? What do we got? We got Kurt Russell as Santa. He's fit. Mel Gibson as Santa. He's fit. David Harbour as Santa. I mean, I'd say he's in pretty damn good shape for being slightly overweight, but he's a fucking barbarian. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Then we got
And
that new
J.K.
movie with
Simmons, like,
too.
man, how is that man so cut at his age?
Hey, J.K. Simmons, I seen a fucking shit with him in the gym. He looks fucking yoked, man. That
He's great.
motherfucker.
Bro, he's
Hey.
ripped, man. He's fucking
Yeah, he's
ripped. It's crazy.
Great. When I turn
Oh.
50, when I turn 50.
That new movie, that Christmas movie with
Me too.
I think it's The Rock and what you call it, play Captain.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Raw. Red One.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Did you like it, Raw?
No, I just seen the little coming attractions and
Okay.
all that.
It's on,
Yeah.
it's on Prime Video for free right now.
Yeah, for
definitely
free.
check it out, Raw. It's
I'll
good.
check it out.
Yeah, because there's
I
times
haven't seen
where
it.
I feel the same way as The Rock in that movie. When I look at people, when I hear them talk, and I feel like it's gone. I don't see it no more.
Right.
But then all it takes is one action, and I do see the children in people, and it changes everything. And that really brought it to light of within the last month. It brightened up a whole lot of scope in my vision.
I really think that's what
people.
brings the toy community together. You know,
Yeah, hey, that's a good pull, Curtis. I like
Yeah.
that.
I think it really does. I mean, because the nostalgia of when you was a kid at Christmas, getting whatever you got, GI Joes or Transformers or whatever, you know, and yet we're all here reminiscing and talking about that stuff.
Okay.
You know,
And if you
Yeah,
don't wanna
Prime
be sad
Diecast
at
says Red One was just okay. He says you could tell it was actually made for streaming.
Prime Diecast gives it a 5 out of 10.
I agree. I was underwhelmed with it. I thought The Rock was very static in it. I thought he was just there. But he's acted better in other films, I thought. But I still respected other
That was
people.
his role in the movie. He was supposed to be that guy.
I know. I don't know. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would.
I loved it, dude. That's in my top 10
And
right
that's
now.
fine, man. Different
Each
strokes
their
make the
own.
world go round.
Yes, I have to watch that one.
Yeah, you know, The Rock had to do a Christmas movie. 'Cause
Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did a Christmas movie.
we have snowmen.
Well, I believe we're going to be calling it a night here, folks. And yes, we did go longer than the 2 hours that I thought we would, but only by a half an hour. It's not that bad.
Hey, I called 5, remember? 5.5.
Probably the quickest. Yeah, well, you were very wrong. Weren't
Very
you?
half wrong. I was half wrong.
5.5. Of course, you know, we're not backstage yet.
Oh, God. We're not
Well,
backstage
you know,
until-
he was saying for the actual stream, which is now, you know, done.
Need everyone
But,
to don't stop
yeah,
believing.
I don't know if we're gonna do a backstage, Curtis. Are we gonna do a backstage?
Yeah, we can.
Either way, just let me
Awesome,
shout out.
because
Merry
there's something I
Christmas
would like to
and
talk
peace
with
on
the
earth
group
to
about.
everyone. Okay.
But yeah, so Curtis, if you want to put the link out, if anybody, we got room for 2 more people on here. Because Curtis, I believe, can support 10.
Yeah.
Hey, Prime, jump on. Johnny, jump on. Skydro, jump on. I
And
know
3, we got room for 2. You're
I know.
inviting like 10 people. What are you doing?
Well, whoever comes
Everybody
first,
jump on.
jump on.
Just jump.
Go
And
ahead.
then the first 2 that
Hey,
grab it,
right
they
it.
get to join us backstage. There you go.
Yeah, great show. Thanks, Prophet, for putting the work in, because we all know
Yeah.
how fucking much it is. And you know
Yeah.
what I realized
Good
is
job.
that you
Great
do
job.
you bring it up enough between 2 weeks. You bring it up enough for in the live streams or the backstages that we're in to kind of like prep us to exactly what we're looking to do. And it makes it's almost like I wouldn't even say the word rehearsal. It's not a rehearsal.
This
It's
is more backstage
hey,
stuff.
yeah,
Good night,
and
everybody.
and feedback like, hey, what do you guys think? Blah blah blah. Come on.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for showing up, Chad.
Merry
Really appreciate
Christmas.
you guys
Tuning
showing
in.
up to hang out with us.
Bye, chat. Johnny. Prime Diecast.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Hydro.
God bless us, everyone.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Heather. Hey, Heather.
Happy
Shout out
New Year.
Heather.
Merry
I
I
Christmas.
missed
had
her,
no
man.
legs.
Way too late. Sorry, Heather.
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing. I agree.
Yeah,
Don't
stop
stop
Believe.
Don't stop
I know
believing.
Journey believes that.
The digital caveman.
Don't stop believing.
Word.
All right.
I do have
So,
to say, I'm a little disappointed.
All right,
Nobody
so-
wore an ugly sweater.
I did.
Hey, I wore a Santa shirt.
I brought the ugly.
What's better than that?
I can't disagree
Ed did
there.
bring the ugly. Good job, Ed.
I bring it well.
I brought it also.
Ed, I think you're beautiful.
I
Hey.
am on the inside. That's what I'm told.
All right, everybody in chat and everybody watching this later.
Bye,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas. You guys have a great new year. And thanks for coming and thanks for watching and like and subscribe and help my buddies out here with their channels. And you guys
Yeah.
all have a great weekend. Later.
Merry Christmas.
Bicycle. Don't stop believing.